But that's a bit of an overview of where everything's going to live and kind of the thinking behind it, I guess. I reckon from here, let's just get after it and get all of that up onto there, screw it all into place so I can step you through how to wire up the individual components. So if you're only doing the solar or only doing this or what have you, you can skip to those sections to get a bit of an overview of how to do those components. Now, getting all of that up onto there is going to be some boring screwing and bits and pieces, so it's going to take me a little bit to do, but for you, it should be done in 3, 2, 1. And here we go, all screwed into place. What do you think? I think it's looking pretty good. Slightly addicted to this stuff, as you know, so it's the OCD is real here in this case. I've tried to get everything all nice and secure there. We've gone with some big screws in through here, so everything is absolutely rock solid. It shakes the whole canopy, so I'm pretty pleased with that. We got our aluminium back plate here over the top of our film pliers, so I'm pretty stoked with that as well. There will be active cooling over the whole thing, where we'll see once we put the perspex on top. That's going to have some cutouts here for accessing our fuses here, accessing our fuses in here. So perspex will cover the lot here, except for a cutout there and a little T-piece across the top, obviously, for this guy for our solar disconnect there as well. So the intent is that everything will be all nice and protected. This is the final position for our battery box too. It needs its skin on it, so this will be fully enclosed. And by that time, it'll sit nice and flush with the side of our drawer and the top of our drawer as well. So should sort of just finalize all that, but still enable a full pass through for the full length of the canopy. And then from a floor position, outside of where basically the back of the fridge, this will be it. So we'll still have quite a lot of room. I could throw a big swag in here if need be, you know, all sorts of stuff. There should be plenty of space remaining, which will be excellent for bigger trips. So really excited by that. So from here, it's just a matter of now methodically working through to the wiring diagram that you can see over on the website at VideoShowMeHow.com that we spoke about earlier. It's now just one by one wiring everything together. Now on a bunch of the actual how-to stuff, there is a bunch of videos on the channel already on how to crimp and what have you for the different wires from the previous StoreMod system. So if you're looking for that kind of detail, suss out that video. I'll put a link in the video description. And then there is some other videos that may be out by the time you've seen this on some very specific how to crimp. You know, big boy, this is a 40 cable or a 95 square cable. So even crimping properly some of those big cables with proper tools and heat shrink and everything else. So those kind of videos will be on the channel. We won't go into that crazy details for this particular install, otherwise the video is going to be way longer than it probably is already. What we will do though, I think, is I'll just step you through the various connection points that we go through now per that wiring diagram, so we can start bringing this guy to life. And here we go. We have made good progress. I've got the battery box just outside there drying on the back of the D-Max there at the moment, but that is ready to go just in here. We've done a bunch of tidy up, as you can see. So we have our 95 square cables coming in nicely into our 400s at the top here per that wiring diagram. Cut those cables so that they're nice and sort of loose. There's no cables under stress or anything. These are quite good. They've got a little bit of bend in it, even though they are super duper thick. So they're going to be plenty. We've got our main feeds coming down to the battery that are perfect lengths there as well, with our master fuse for the battery and master on off switch. Everything else wired all the way around. In hindsight, I probably could have used some bigger cable trays. I'll link these down in the description. We've got all of our switches and what have you wired in from over there. We'll nick over there in just a second. And the servo is rapidly getting full. We have all sorts of stuff and even having a crack at a double adapter here, which I've heard will work. So rapidly running out of space on the servo. I don't know, Victron, if you have another one of these on the way with expandability, that'd be awesome. But anyway, there we go. So we can see the beauty of these trays in my view is it does allow that organization for your cables. From here, we then just get these guys, and once we're done, they just sort of snap in over the top there, and it keeps everything nice and neat. So we're pretty close there. We have our charger, AC charger there. For everyone who's been asking why have I still got the Renogy, maybe we'll go to a servo there in the future, but ultimately I had this guy and I already had this guy. So at the moment they're staying. The 3000 Renogys, it's been flawless. I've been running that for the last couple of years. Like I said, I already had this. So at the moment they're staying, but we may go to the big boy multi-plus at some point. But at the moment, that's all wired in. So that gives me a 30 amp Shure charge, which is great. You can plug in the extension lead, away we go. We've got our AC via the Renogy as well. And the solars, these two here, they're all plugged in, all plugged into the battery, so they work and they're configured. We haven't got our outputs here just at the moment, so we still need to do that, as well as our Orion XSs. They need to be plumbed through from the front of the D-Max. Otherwise, everything is good to go. Now, if we head on over to our new control panel, we've got all this all nice and covered. It only sticks out a tiny little bit, and the beauty of it is I've sort of made this so it is quite tight in here, but I can still pull this out if need be to access anything behind. But ultimately what we have our Victron screen. This is the 7-inch touch display. You'll see that a little bit later in the video once we're all fired up. This is an AC pass-through module, kind of like a double adapter. It's nice and handy because it's got switches, so I can have that directly to the inverter here. We can turn the inverter on separately via its own remote switch, and then control this like a normal GPIO, normal power point, which is cool. A bank of USBs at the top here. Do this little thing called YouTube every now and again. So there's a bunch of camera gear always, and all the trips that I need to charge gear and all that sort of stuff. And we've got 3 normal plugs underneath those. So if I need more USB, if I need PD charge, if I need any of that sort of stuff, I can just bust these guys out, and you're kind of infinitely scalable. That's why I like a standard plug, if you will. We've got our wireless button connector here. I was just playing with the interior, but as the rest of those are mapped out, these will all be on their separate buttons. The USBs on their own button, and then the normal ones on their own button. We have our 2 Ando outputs here. These are a 30 amp limited, but the intent of that is that we've got a spare one, but then also for fridge more than anything. So that's not going to draw anywhere near, it won't even draw 10 amps, but if we're going a longer trip, this will give me the ability to run the fridge permanently. I can just plug that straight in, and also if I'm running a separate freezer or something like that, I've got the ability to do that. So that's the control panel side, all buttoned up, ready to go. So from here, I'll be putting the battery back into place in its final location in its box, connecting these guys up and firing it up. And we also need to run our Big Boy Earth for the whole system as well. At the moment, this is fine because it's all self-contained within that one battery. As soon as we start connecting to the rest of the vehicle though, and getting a feed in from our alternator for these guys, we need to earth and have a common earth, and that's what this guy's for. We have a skin fitting here as well, which once this is all back on the back of the D-Max, I'll be able to work out where this needs to go. Thinking it may be able to live up the top and behind the board here, with then just the big 95 square cable coming back up and over. Probably up and over there, I would say, and then we need to earth the whole system on either this one or this one, which will then take the negs on all of it and connect it into a common earth for the vehicle. So that's still to do, and we'll do that once the canopy is back on the vehicle. We'll finalize the Orion XS's. These guys, there's a bit of work to do at the front end of the car in connecting some new fuses and what have you, so I'll show you that full setup and what we're doing there. And then also installing our solar panels on the roof and running it in here with a new product that I'm releasing as far as a skin fitting for canopies, and then our additional connector, which will live at the back down here, so I can connect in without opening any of the doors. I have a trip literally later this afternoon that I need to make tracks and make, and I still need to get this guy back on the back of the D-Max. So that will do for this particular video, a bit of an introduction on how all this works. Part 2, we'll get cracking on those 2 big jobs there, and I'll show you how that works in running all of the cables back down to the canopy, running the earth, and getting it all finalized. So let me know what you think so far in the comments down below. I think we've made pretty good progress. So as always, guys, I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers, guys.